Hello, everyone. Good morning, guys. We'll just wait for 1 or 2 more minutes, guys, and we'll get started. – 30 more seconds, guys. We get started. Okay, let's get started, guys. I'll start with first of all, a warm welcome to Fusion HCM training by UnoGeeks. It's a first session for your batch today, and I'll start with my introduction. This is Prasad. I have almost 20 years of experience in HCM space, guys. And I've been doing implementations in Fusion HCM Cloud for almost last 9 to 10 years. In fact, I've been working in the product from day one Oracle released it. I've led and delivered some of the complex HCM implementation for global MNCs in real-time projects. Okay, and I have experience implementing global HR, payroll, absence management, and various talent management modules also. I do have pretty good experience as a trainer. I've delivered almost 100 plus batches in Fusion HCM Cloud, including the regular and the corporate trainings. I'm the director of the company as well, and I'll be delivering this particular training course myself. And this is what I have an agenda for today, guys. And before I walk you through the agenda, a couple of important announcements, guys. When you join a training session, you will be put on mute by default. That doesn't mean that you cannot speak up during the session. At any point in time in the session, if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. I'll call out your name, unmute yourself, ask the question, and then you can go back on mute. Now, why do we put you on mute only when you join a training session? Why do we put you on mute? We do it only to avoid the background noise, guys. We do it only to avoid the background noise. So don't think that it's a one-way lecture. I would love to keep it interactive. So if you have any questions while I explain something, either in the demo sessions or after it, feel free to interact, raise your hand, ask the question. Okay. And also, if you think I'm going too fast or too slow, do let me know, guys. I'm open to adjust my pace. And this is what I have an agenda for today, guys. Before talking about what exactly Oracle Fusion Cloud application is, since some of you are completely new to this product, and some of you are also new to ERP, so I want to first throw some light and talk about what exactly ERP is all about. What exactly ERP is all about, and what are the leading products, ERP products we have in the market. Then I'll talk about what exactly this Oracle Fusion Cloud application is. I'll break down these three terms for you, like why exactly is it called this way. We'll try to understand it. And then I'll give you a walkthrough of what are the product families that Oracle has in a Fusion Cloud. Remember, guys, it's not just a HCM. Oracle has few other product families as well. I'll give you an overview of that here. And then I'll briefly walk you through how does a HCM implementation work. I usually find students getting confused between different parties involved in a HCM implementation project. So what are all the companies that are involved in a HCM implementation project? On one side, you have a vendor, other side, you have a end user or a client, end client, and in between, you have consulting firms. So I'm going to walk you through that implementation project. I'll give you a high level overview here. And then I would walk you through the HR business processes. So it doesn't matter, the industry or a sector of a client doesn't matter, guys, but any client has a certain HR business processes that they should follow. Doesn't matter whether he's a pharmaceutical client or a manufacturing client. So I'll walk you through those HR business processes first. Okay, I'll walk you through those HR business process first, business process flow. And then I'll tell you what are the modules that Oracle has given in Fusion HCM Cloud, which helps you handle those business processes within the application. Okay, so I'll first tell you what are the HR business processes that companies follow. And I'll also tell you what modules are given by Oracle to help clients manage those business processes in HCM Cloud so that you understand the one-to-one map. And towards the later half of the session, I want to throw some light on the demand that you have for Fusion HCM Cloud consultants in the market today. So there are hundreds of jobs, in fact, in the market available today, and it's only going to increase in the near future. So I'll talk about the job openings we have. And I'll also spend some time on who exactly can do this particular course. So whatever your qualification is, or is there any prerequisite to do this course, I'll talk about it at this particular point. And I'll also give you a very high-level overview of the course content. Like what exactly are we going to do as part of this course? Okay, this is what I have an agenda for today. Now let's get started with what exactly ERP is. Now ERP, it stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. Now ERPs were invented not yesterday or day before, guys. They were invented 3 to 4 decades back. And before ERPs were invented, guys, it used to be a nightmare. It used to be a nightmare for enterprises, especially the global enterprises. It used to be a nightmare for them to manage their core business processes. It used to be a nightmare for enterprises to streamline or manage their core business processes, because without ERP, assume that you don't have this ERP system in between. And every enterprise would have a lot of departments like finance, HR, manufacturing, material, and so on, sales. And all the departments used to have different applications with the different databases attached to them. And there was a very little or almost no coordination between those departments. And that is when few players in the market like SAP, Oracle came up with ERPs. And ERP system, as you can see from the picture, it sits right at the middle of the landscape, and it would help, as you can make out from the name ERP. It helps enterprises plan and use the resources effectively. Now, what are some of the resources that every enterprise has that needs to be managed, guys? Managed and used effectively. It has money. It has manpower, it has materials. So every enterprise has a lot of resources that needs to be planned and used effectively. And those resources could be money, manpower, material, it could be anything. So it should be used effectively, and that is where ERP comes in. And as you can see, in an ERP system, or after the invention of ERPs, these departments or different departments that we have, that an enterprise has, they no longer work outside. They no longer work in a standalone applications. In fact, all these modules are configured within the ERP system itself. And they will also be able to talk to each other. So HR would be able to talk to manufacturing, finance would be able to talk to material management, and so on. So ERP system, since you are configuring all these modules within the ERP system itself, within a single system itself, ERPs help the enterprises streamline their core business processes, whether it is a finance, HR, or manufacturing, doesn't matter. All the business processes are streamlined within a ERP system. Okay. And every enterprise, the moment it crosses a certain scale or complexity, every enterprise needs an ERP. And what are the few leading ERP products available in the market today, guys? You've got Oracle, SAP, and you also have few other minor players as well. Now, we are more worried about Oracle Fusion ERP Cloud. Oracle Fusion ERP Cloud. So Oracle Fusion Cloud, it is an ERP product from Oracle. It is an enterprise resource planning product from Oracle. And in this particular product, now why exactly is it called so, guys? Why is it called as Oracle Fusion ERP Cloud? It's called as ERP, of course, because it is an ERP product and it has a lot of product families within it. I'll come to this in a moment. But why is it called as cloud, guys? Why is it called as cloud? Now, it might not be very much required for a functional consultant to know what exactly a cloud application is, but it would be good if you have a high-level overview of it. Okay, so let's say we are doing an implementation project for a manufacturing client. Let's say we are doing an implementation project for Emerson, which is a US-based manufacturing firm. I'm not talking about a fictional firm, guys. It is an actual company that operates in US. It is an actual firm name, and it's a US-based manufacturing firm. And let's say Emerson wanted to implement a HR product, or they needed a HR product to manage the HR business processes. Had it been 5 years back, so we are in 2025, assume that we are in 2020 now. If Emerson had to implement HCM product, I'm just using Emerson as an example. It can be any other client. If they have to implement HR product 5 years ago, what is it that Emerson had to do, guys? It has to, and all the HR products that were available earlier, until 5 years back or 10 years back, they used to be on-prem applications. You have a product from Oracle called as Oracle Apps, Oracle Applications, or Oracle E-Business Suite. You have PeopleSoft. So these are the HR products that are available in the market. And if Emerson wanted to implement Oracle Apps or Oracle EBS, it is an on-prem application. So what Emerson had to do, if it has to use Oracle E-Business Suite or Oracle application, first thing that it has to do is it has to spend a lot of capital upfront. It has to spend a lot of capital upfront. It needs to go to Oracle, buy the required servers from Oracle to run the application server and the database server. So it has to, Emerson has to buy the application and the DB servers from Oracle, spending a lot of capital upfront. And after Emerson makes a payment to upfront, Oracle will ship those servers. Emerson would receive them at their location. And after that, Emerson needs to onboard an Oracle Apps DBA team. And this team is going to install that Oracle Apps or EBS application on the on-prem servers. Whatever servers that Emerson has bought from Oracle, it would install them on-premise on the location of Emerson. And this DBA team will install the application on the servers. And please note, guys, since this application is running on the on-prem servers, maintenance of the application is headache of Emerson. So meaning, whether it is keeping that application up and running 24/7, or whether it is upgrading application, patching an application, anything that you have to do, even the disaster recovery, everything has to be taken care by Emerson. So if you think of all of this from a client standpoint, see, as an end client, I'm spending a lot of amount upfront. I'm also hiring a team to install the application, and I'm also responsible for the maintenance of application. So I'll have to do all of this apart from focusing on my core manufacturing business. I need to do all of this, spend money, manage teams, manage the applications. Isn't it ridiculous, guys? And that is exactly where cloud applications came into the market. I just said 5 years as a timeline, guys, but cloud applications started penetrating the market even before 5 years itself. But I just used 5 years as a tentative timeline here. But if Amazon has to implement a HR product today from Oracle, Oracle has this Fusion ERP cloud. Oracle offers, who doesn't have this on-prem option anymore, Oracle HCM on-prem option anymore. Instead, Oracle has this Fusion ERP cloud product. It has this Fusion application that runs in cloud. So if Amazon wants to implement a Fusion HCM cloud, or Fusion, let's say ERP cloud, and why am I calling it ERP? Because in Fusion ERP Cloud, you have various modules that Oracle offers. It has finance modules, HCM, SCM. So you have all the modules that enterprises need here. So if Amazon needs a HR product today, they would go to Oracle and they say that, boss, I need to use your Fusion ERP Cloud and I'm interested in HCM modules in specific. Now, what would Oracle do, guys? Since this is a cloud product, you're not going to spend the amount and buy the required servers from Oracle. So the moment Amazon goes to Oracle and say that they want to use their Fusion ERP product, and once they sign the agreement, Oracle will go to the data center. Remember, guys, Oracle has data centers all around the globe. In fact, it has a data center in Hyderabad itself. It would go to the data center and it would go to the data center closest to Emerson location. Let's say Emerson is based out of Chicago. It goes to a data center closest to that location, and Oracle would install the Fusion application. Oracle would install the Fusion ERP cloud application on one of the in cloud. And what exactly we mean by Oracle installing the application in cloud? It would install the application in one of the servers in a data center. What exactly data center means, guys? You have thousands of servers wired up. You have all the infra in place in there. And Oracle would just go to one of the data center closest to a location. It goes to one of the machines and it would install the application. And Oracle would throw a URL to Emerson saying that, boss, this is a URL. This is a URL that you can use to access a Fusion cloud application. So what's Oracle going to do today? So they would install the application in one of the data center closest to a client location, and it would install the application there in one of the servers, and it would share the URL with Emerson. So let's assume that Emerson has received this URL. And whenever they try to access the URL, guys, let me show you from a login page. Assume that this is a URL that we have received from Oracle. When you access the application URL you received from Oracle, when Emerson accesses it, it would prompt them to sign in, and Oracle would create a one admin user and share it with Emerson, and Emerson would try to log into it as that specific administrator user. They would enter the username and password and sign into it. Now, what is Emerson trying to do here? Assume that we are Emerson, and what is it that we are trying to do? We are trying to access Oracle Fusion Cloud application. Okay, so we are trying to access Oracle Fusion ERP application running in cloud. What exactly we mean by application running in cloud, guys? Not necessarily means that it is sitting in cloud in the sky. It just means that this application is running in one of the data centers or on one of the servers in a data center of Oracle. It is not running on the on-premise servers. That's what it basically means, cloud application means. Of course, you don't need to know all of the story, guys, but certainly if you're going to spend the next few years in Oracle Cloud, you need to know this backdrop. Now, what would happen today, guys? Today, you just go to Oracle, say that you need to use their cloud application. Oracle would install this app and give the URL to you. Emerson is going to use this application. Emerson is going to use this software for a month. And at the month end, at every month end, Oracle is going to send a bill to Emerson saying that for this month, this is a bill that you have to pay. So Emerson is going to use this application as a software. It's going to use this software as a service for a month. At the month end, Emerson would receive a bill from Oracle, depending on the number of users configured here. Emerson would pay that bill to Oracle, move on, and use the application for the next month. But what are the advantages with Fusion Cloud application, guys? What are the advantages with cloud applications? First of all, clients don't need to spend a lot of capital upfront to buy the required servers. They don't need to manage the teams. They don't need to maintain the application. This application is installed by Oracle on the servers of Oracle itself in a data center. And there, Oracle is responsible for installing the application. Oracle is responsible for upgrading the application every quarter. Oracle is responsible for keeping this application up and running 24/7. It is responsible for doing the patching and all that stuff. As an end client, my role is very simple. I would just get this application URL from Oracle. I would use it for an entire month. And at the month end, I just pay a bill to Oracle as if I pay my broadband bill or a phone bill. Okay, just like plug and play. You get a URL, use it, and you pay a bill at the month end to Oracle. So this is precisely why. So I don't need to spend money. I don't need to spend money. I don't need to manage teams. I don't need to maintain the application. Everything is taken care by Oracle for me. And that is why cloud applications are quite famous, because it comes with a lot of advantages. Now, what exactly a Fusion ERP application is all about, guys? So in a Fusion ERP cloud application, you have a lot of product families. It is a complete modular suite of applications. Why is it called modular? Because you have a lot of product families within ERP cloud. And in those modules, and you have a lot of product families, and in those product families, you have individual modules again. You have individual modules. So for example, if you go to financials, you have GL, AP, AR, fixed assets, and so on, cash management. And if you go to HCM, which is of interest to us, you have global HR, payroll, compensation, goals, performance, absences, and so on. And you go to other modules, you will see relevant modules there. Other offerings or product families, you will see relevant modules there. Now, the point is, so these are the product families that Oracle offers in cloud. Please note that no client implements all of them, guys. No client implements all of them. So it depends on what are the business processes that Oracle, the client wants to manage in a Fusion cloud. Depending on that, they implement a product families. If Emerson wants to manage their finance, HCM and SCM modules or SCM process in Fusion cloud, then they will implement finance, HCM and SCM product families. If another client wants to implement only HCM cloud, they would implement only HCM. Or if some other client wants to implement only finance and HCM, not SCM, they can do it as well. And also within each product family, guys, within each product family, you might have plenty of modules. It doesn't mean that every client has to implement every module. In case of HCM, you might have 10 plus modules. Doesn't mean that every client has to implement all 10 modules in HCM cloud to use a HR product. They can pick and choose what modules they want to implement. Again, depending on the requirements that they have. And another important point is, even though clients can pick and choose what modules they want to implement within HCM, within a specific product family, there is one core module that every client has to implement in a product family. So there's one core module in financials, which is GL. And in case of HCM, global HR is a core module, which means other modules are optional. But if any client has to implement HCM, they definitely have to implement global HR. Why is that the case, guys? because this is a core module, guys. Global HR or core HR, this is a core module. And this is where you do all the legal enterprise structures, workforce structures, configurations. And after you're done with global HR setups, only then you can bring in employees into HCM Cloud. And only after you bring in employees, all other modules become meaningful, guys. Whether it is paying salaries to them, whether it is managing their goals, doing a performance assessments, or revising their compensation, all other modules become meaningful only when you have employees. And you can bring in employees into a system only after global HR is done. So the point is, clients pick and choose which product families they want to implement, which combination of them. And within the product family also, they pick and choose which modules they want to implement. Some client might implement HR, absences, payroll, and other talent management modules. Some clients might not implement payroll, but other modules. So depending on what business processes within a HR they want to manage in cloud, they pick and choose what modules to implement. But of course, every client who implements HCM should implement global HR for sure. And a Fusion application, it is an integrated suite of business applications grouped into product families. And HCM is a complete cloud solution that connects every HR process across the enterprise. It connects every HR process across the enterprise. And where do you see these product families in the application, guys? I've logged into Fusion application here. Where do you see those product families? You click on the username and you click on setup and maintenance under administration. And you click on actions, go to offerings. Here, go to offerings, and here you will be able to see those offerings or product families. I mentioned financials, SCM, and you have three offerings from Oracle related to HCM. You have workforce deployment offering, workforce development, and you have compensation management. So in workforce deployment offering, this is where you find all the core modules related to HCM. Like you have global HR, absences, time and labor, payroll, and so on. You will find all the core modules here. And in case of workforce development, you will find all the talent management modules here, like goals, profile, performance, and so on. And in case of compensation, you see the compensation related stuff. So these are the three offerings that we have from Oracle. You can correlate them with the product families that we have. Now, I already gave you a comparison between cloud with versus on-premise applications. Everything is much more simpler in cloud. Okay, so we end up paying a lot of we end up paying a lot of. I mean, the cost is very much reduced. You don't need to spend any amount upfront in case of cloud, and also it is scalable, accessible, and we don't need to worry about the maintenance part. If it is on-prem, we have to take a lot of responsibilities, and still we have to spend a lot of amount as well. Now, this is the most important part, guys. Now, how does a HCM implementation works? Now, we'll go back to the same example. Okay, we go back to the same example, guys. Emerson, they went to Oracle and they said they want to use the Fusion application. And what Oracle did is it has installed this Fusion application. Oracle has installed this Fusion application in cloud, and it has shared the URL. It has shared the URL with client. And when Oracle shared the URL with a client, what exactly would client do? So let's assume that Emerson has got this application. Now, when it comes to HCM implementation, guys, there are different parties involved here. At one end, you have end clients who use Oracle Fusion applications. And I didn't mention any random clients here, guys. These are the actual clients who use a Fusion Cloud application today in the market. Emerson is one such client. You have Kotak Bank, you have Diebold. So I just picked up one client from a different industry so that you understand that Fusion HCM Cloud is not something that is meant for a manufacturing firm or a financial institution. It can be used across industries. It can be used by clients across industries. So at one end, you have end clients who want to use Fusion application or use the HR product. And on the other end, you have a product owners. And who are the product owners, guys? Oracle has this HCM cloud application. You have Workday, you have SAP, Success Factors in there. So these are a few products or vendors who own a product, HR product that end users can implement. So we are interested in Oracle HCM Cloud here because that is clearly the #1 HR product in the market today. And that is what most of the clients are implementing. But when end clients, let's say when Emerson gets a Fusion application from Oracle, let's say when Emerson gets a Fusion application from Oracle, like this, they've got the URL. And let's see if Emerson can use this application directly. Okay, so they got this application from Oracle and they go to my client group, and when they try to hire a new employee, so you click on hire an employee, click on new person, click on hire an employee. And here you will be able to, you just have to fill in information in 5 tabs and you hire an employee, complete the hire process. Now, whenever you hire an employee, you have to choose a legal employer, meaning which company is hiring an employee. And one important point is every enterprise will have a lot of companies or legal entities. Every enterprise will have a lot of companies or legal entities operating in a single country and in different countries as well. So let's say Emerson has 2 companies. It has plenty of them. As an example, I'm just taking 2 companies. Let's say it has companies called as Emerson Process Management. And let's say it has another company called as Emerson Climate Technologies. And I'm just using a short name as EPM, Emerson Process Management, and ECT. Now, when Emerson tries to hire an employee, what is it that they want to see, guys? At this, when they try to hire an employee in the legal employer drop down here, Emerson would want to see Emerson Process Management or Emerson Climate Technologies here, so that when HR of Emerson hires an employee in the system, they would be able to choose which company of Emerson is hiring this employee. Is it ECT or EPM? But when you click on a drop down here, since it is a demo instance from Oracle, guys, you are seeing some sample data here. You see one legal entity per country. But when client gets a dedicated instance like this from Oracle, when they click on a drop down, they will not be able to see any values here. Of course, Oracle will not know what are the companies that Emerson would add, and Oracle will not configure it for you automatically. So when Emerson comes in here directly, they click on legal employer, they will not see any values here, which means they won't be able to hire an employee unless somebody does those functional configurations, does the setups in the application. Okay. Now let's say Emerson wants to. Okay. Now let's say Emerson wants to hire an employee is not working. Let's say they go to my client groups. Let's say HR wants to terminate an employee or promote an employee. What do? They go into my client groups, and instead of going into new person, they go into person management. Person is nothing but employee, guys. So they go to person management screen and they'll try to search for an employee here. Now tell me one thing is, if Emerson has 1 lakh employees, should those employees be loaded into the system here, guys? So that HR will be able to see those 1 lakh employees and they'll be able to perform HR operations on them, like promote them, change the location, or terminate them, and so on. Yes or no, guys? Somebody has to load these employees as well, right? All the employees that Emerson has needs to be loaded in here. And also, a functional consultants should have done all the required configurations so that when we try to hire an employee, you will be able to see all those configurations related to Emerson here. You should see Emerson legal entities here and so on. Well, that is exactly where HCM implementation consultants like you and me will come into picture. Okay, and again, in terms of consultants, you have a functional and a technical consultants. A job of a functional consultant is to do the configurations within the system, do the setups as per the client requirements, and technical consultant job is to load the data, extract the data, build the reports, and so on. So yes, This is where a Fusion HCM consultants like you and me come into picture. And after you complete this course, you would be an expert in Fusion HCM functional and the technical skills. And you will be joining one of the leading consulting firms. I just mentioned a few good consulting firms here, right? Here, guys, like Deloitte, Accenture, Infosys, and so on. So these consulting firms have hundreds of Fusion HCM consultants working as teams. So what end client needs to do is like Emerson, when they get a product from the vendor, when they get a product from a vendor, obviously they cannot use it as is. They cannot use it as is. They've already seen that they've understood that somebody needs to do the implementation and somebody needs to do the data upload. So that is where they would go to one of the implementation partner, they go to one of the consulting firms, sign a contract with them. And as per the contract, the expectation is, yes, this consulting firm, let's say Emerson finalized Deloitte as a HCM implementation partner. So, and you and me are working in a Fusion HCM team at Deloitte. Our job is to understand the requirements that Emerson has, like what companies to configure and what employees to load and so on. And we need to handle all of that. We need to basically implement Oracle HCM Cloud to the end clients as per their requirements. And that is exactly what we do as a Fusion HCM consultant working in the top consulting firms after the course is done. So on one side, you have a product owner, at the other end, you have end clients. But end clients cannot use the products right away or straight out of the box. Somebody has to implement it, and that is where consulting firms come. Now, if you look at a HR business process flow, it doesn't matter which industry does your client belong to. Okay, it could be a pharmaceutical firm, could be a bank, or could be a manufacturing firm. Doesn't matter. So these are the typical high-level steps involved in a HR business process flow. So what does a HR business process flow starts with, guys? Starts with recruiting. Yes, you post the jobs online, LinkedIn, everywhere, Naukri, and you conduct interviews, identify suitable candidates, and you roll out offer letters. And after that, you onboard the employees. And you hire them. And after employees start working for you, let's say for Emerson, we need to track their time. We need to track their absences. And we also have to pay them on a monthly basis. Okay, so depending on the number of leaves that they are taking, how much of a time they are putting in, are they working overtime? So we have to track all of that, the absences and the time that they're putting in. And at the month end, you're going to run a payroll and pay those employees. And of course, after the, and we pay the employees. And after that, so this is an year-long process, guys. Every employee should develop their skills. And in today's world, if you have to sustain in a market, you have to upskill yourself continuously, guys. You cannot live with a skill that you know today. You cannot survive it even for the next 6 months. You have to keep upskilling yourself. So that is where you would do the certifications. You would learn the new skills. You would all the skills or all the upskilling part would come into picture here. It's like picking up a new skill, getting certified, and so on. Okay, development of the employees. And you need to assess the performance of the employees as well. Remember, guys, at the beginning of the year itself, all the managers of Emerson would have a discussion with their employees and they would align the goals. They would assign the goal plan to the employees, individual goal plans, telling them, each employee, what are the goals that we expect them to achieve by year end. And at the year end, you would also carry out a performance appraisal to see how many of the goals that we asked them were they able to achieve. So if I'm a manager, if I have 10 employees reporting to me, and let's say for each of those 10 employees, I've given 5 goals each on an average, different goals. Some of them say, let's say 3 or 4 achieved all 5 goals. 3 or 4 have achieved 4 of them. So I need to see how many of them have achieved the goals that I've asked them to, and what is their performance overall within the projects that they have worked on, and so on. So we do a performance appraisal, detailed appraisal process, and we hand out a year-end ratings to the employees. So we rate the employees as either 1 star or 5 star or 2 star. And once the performance assessment is done, so typically in December, January, every employee would be looking forward to the hike, right? Every employee would want to see what is their revised compensation going to be. And that is where compensation comes into picture. I often see students getting confused between compensation and payroll. Payroll means, yes, it is something that you run every month to pay your employees' salaries. And compensation is an overall package that we give to the employees. And every year, yes, after the performance appraisal is done, based on the performance rating in January of every year, we need to revise the compensation of the employees. Okay. And when we revise the compensation of the employees, can we just go out and say, can we go ahead and just hand out a 10% hike to all the employees, guys? Won't it be ridiculous? Because it would demotivate the hardworking employees or the employees who have done a really good job when compared to easygoing employees, right? So that is where doing a critical performance assessment would come handy. Based on the rating and based on other factors, the line managers of Emerson would decide how their compensation has to be revised. Who should be given 10% hike, who should be given 7%, who should be given 4% hike will be decided after the performance assessment in the compensation module. And apart from paying the employees' salaries on a regular basis, and apart from on a monthly basis, and apart from revising the compensation of the employees every year based on a performance assessments, there would also be a few more rewards and benefits that clients usually give to their employees to motivate them. Yes, every month they get their salary, and every year you're changing the salary. You're giving them a hike, or you're giving them stocks, bonuses, and so on, and hike. But apart from that, employees also need some mid-month boost, right? So something to boost their morale. So what employees do usually, so mid of a month or intermittently, what they do is they usually announce some rewards. Like say, for example, companies like Deloitte has something called as a spot award. Every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they identify the best performing employees in that period, and they give them a spot awards or benefits or rewards will be given. And nowadays, most of the employees are sponsoring their employees for the wellness programs because health is everything. Only if the employee is fit and healthy, they would be able to do their best in the job. So that's where the rewards come into picture. And the last step in the process is a retirement. It could be that employee might choose to leave because he has got another better opportunity, or he might be retiring because of age. Either ways, we have to offboard the employee and we need to carry out the exit formalities. This is a HR business process flow that you see any company, regardless of their industry or a sector. These are the major steps. And in each of these major steps, these are all the modules that come into picture. And if a company like Emerson, yes, typically they would also have a same process flow. And if they want to manage not just these steps, if they want to manage each of these steps, like they want to hire an employee, they want to retire an employee, they want to track the absence and time that employees is putting in, they want to do the payroll, implement a payroll, they want to implement compensation, they want to implement goals, performance management module. So if they want to implement all of that, if Emerson wants to manage all these HR business processes within cloud, within HCM cloud, do we have a provision? Absolutely, we do have. Modules are given by Oracle Infusion HCM Cloud. You have these modules grouped into these offerings. Remember, guys, I've shown you the offerings earlier, right? I've shown you the offerings earlier. Click on setup and maintenance and go to offerings. And here you will be able to see the offerings. So you have a workforce deployment offering. And this is a core offering. And this is where you have all the core modules like global HR, payroll, Titan labor, absences, payroll, and so on. So all the modules you have here, the core modules. And then you have workforce development offering. Here you have goals, profile, performance, succession management, and so on. And you also have compensation offering where you have all the compensation related stuff. Like you have incentive compensation, total compensation statements, individual and workforce compensations, and benefits as well. And at the same time, you have some concepts in HCM Cloud that cuts across modules. So, for example, if you have probably heard of something as fast formulas. So this is a technical topic, and you can write a fast formula in HCM Cloud, and you can use it across modules. You can use it in absence management. You can use it in a payroll. Okay, you can use it in compensation and other modules as well. Similarly, profiles and so on. Now, when you have 20 plus modules here or 15 plus modules, do you think every client implements all the modules, guys? Definitely not the case. Clients will pick and choose. They decide, first of all, which of these processes they want to manage in Fusion Cloud, Fusion HCM Cloud, and based on that, they decide which of these modules they want to implement. Okay, no client implements all of them. Now, if you ask me, Prasad, tell me one good reason why I have to learn this particular course. Because Fusion HCM Cloud, you have plenty of demand in the market today. As you can see, I've got some screenshots from leading job sites. These are the live screenshots that I captured. And if you go to Naukri and you put in Fusion HCM, you could see that there are close to 5,000 jobs here. And if you go to LinkedIn, you have 1,000 jobs, and you have plenty of jobs in Glassdoor as well. So the point is, it is currently the #1 HR product in the market today. And you have thousands of jobs available in the market, provided you have the right skills that those jobs are looking for. And this demand is only going to increase in the near future, guys. And who can learn HCM? Are there any prerequisites for it? First of all, education-wise, if you go to any of these jobs, guys, you can do the research yourself. If you go to any of these jobs, all of them would say any graduation or post-graduation is fine. So it doesn't matter whether you are an engineer or whether you are an MBA HR. Doesn't matter. You are eligible. Even if it is a BCom or BSc, doesn't matter. Okay, any graduation or post-graduation is fine. And companies don't expect you to for you to learn this particular course or learn Fusion HCM Cloud, you don't need any prior IT experience. Even if you don't have an IT experience, maybe you are a HR generalist, or you are a recruitment executive, or any other job that you are doing at the moment. Non-HR job is also fine. IT or non-IT background doesn't matter. HR experience is also absolutely not required. If you have it, well and good. But even if you don't have it, it's fine. Because the beauty of Fusion HCM is, guys, this is something that anybody can pick up easily. Isn't it, guys? We're talking about hiring employees, tracking their absences, paying them salaries, doing a goals management, performance assessment. So all these terms, since all of us are working, or even if you're not working, you're yet to start your career, these are all the terms that all of us can easily relate to. We're not talking about a trial balance report here, wherein the core business knowledge is very much required. But in this case, since we're talking about a basic HR stuff that all of us already know, okay, so anybody could learn a Fusion HCM, provided you just have a little bit of commitment. Okay, any prior HR experience, absolutely not required. Is career gap acceptable? Definitely yes, but you have to give absolutely the right reason to the clients when you attend the interviews. Okay, so if you have a couple of years of gap, you cannot just say that I was sitting back and watching Netflix. You have to tell them a concrete reason as to why you were not working for the last 2 years. Okay, and if you have a career gap, we can definitely have a one-on-one call. I can I mean, I want to understand the context first, and then I can tell you what is the reason that you can probably give to the clients. Now, as part of the course, we would be covering 7 HCM functional modules, guys. Now, you might say, Prasad, on what basis did you pick? So we have 15 plus modules here. And if you say, Prasad, on what basis did you pick these 7 modules? I've done almost 10 to 12 HCM implementation projects, guys. And these are the modules that most of the clients do implement in real time. Out of 15 modules or 10 or 12 or 15 modules that we have, these 7 modules are critical modules that most of the clients usually implement. And that's why I've picked up these 7 modules. And we would be covering global HR, absence, payroll, and we do goals, profile, performance. These 3 are from talent management bucket. And we would also be doing a compensation management as well. So these 7 modules, we are going to cover them in depth as part of the course. And when I say we cover 7 modules, what is the typical approach we follow, guys? When I do the sessions, say for example, if you're doing absence management module, how do I proceed with it, guys? On day one of a session of a new module, I would give you an overview of that module. I'll give you an overview of that module. And I'll walk you through what are the leave plans that we normally get from clients. What are the real-time requirements we get from clients? Let's say we're doing this for Emerson. So you would do a detailed requirements gathering session with Emerson, try to understand what are the leaves that Emerson usually gives to their employees. And again, for these leaves, you're going to get a detailed requirements. You're going to do a detailed requirement gathering session, try to understand each and every aspect that you need to know related to absence plans. And after that, so day one would be introduction to the module, and I'll also introduce you to the use cases like this that we get from clients. And next few days, we go into Fusion Cloud application, and I'll show you how to configure these absence plans. So we go to a respective module. We go to that respective module, and we go ahead and do all the configurations required for that particular module, all the setups required to achieve these use cases. And on the last day of every module, we would also be doing the end user transactions, meaning we will be logging in as an employee, apply for a leave, we log in as a manager, approve it, and so on. Okay, so that's a typical approach we follow for every module. Day one, overview, introduction of use cases. Next few days, we do the setups. And on the last day, we do the end user transactions. Because the reason behind doing end user transactions is after we do absence management, we log in as an employee, apply for a leave, approve it, and so on. After we do a payroll, we would run the payroll for 2 or 3 months, show you everything that you need to know there. We do a success run. We deliberately create few errors. We show you how to fix them. And a compensation, goals, performance. After we do all the module configurations, we will make sure that we test those configurations so that you understand that the setups that we have done really works. After we do the performance management setups, we would do a performance appraisal process of an employee, end-to-end performance appraisal. We would log in as a manager, do the worker self-evaluation. We log in as a manager, do the manager evaluation. We'll complete the whole cycle. Now, the reason behind doing end user transactions is A, you get a confidence that whatever setups that you have done works. B, you also understand how client is going to use the setups that you have configured. So you would understand what a module is all about, what sort of use cases you get from a client, how to configure the application. And after you're done with the configuration, in real time, you won't do the end user transactions. Emerson HRs would do that. But since we are also doing that in the session as well, you would understand how exactly would Emerson use the system as well that you configure. So that would give you that holistic picture. Even if you have not worked in a HR implementation, since we're going to look at that end-to-end process for each of these modules, you will be very much confident. And whatever confidence that a person would have, normally if they have worked for 3 or 4 years in Fusion HCM projects, you will have that same level of confidence by the time you complete the course. And apart from these seven major functional modules that we cover, we do cover technical skills as well. Now, the reason for covering this is nowadays, if you go to any of these jobs, even though the job says Fusion HCM functional consultants, guys, please note that most of the clients do expect you to know a little bit of technical skills as well. Okay, they don't expect you to be a technical expert. You do have tech consultants as well. But just in case they are missing or they are absent on a day, they want you to be able to handle some basic stuff. So that is where we cover all the HCM tech skills. And we're going to cover them in depth as well, guys. Not just the basics. We cover a HDL and HSDL, show you how to load the data. We will show you how to build reports used in a Fusion application, BI. We show you how to extract the data using HCM extracts and send it to other systems. We'll show you how to write fast formulas. In fact, we're going to spend, this is probably one of the most important topics in HCM, guys. And we'll spend almost 3 to 4 hours on this particular topic. And you need to know how to configure approvals. Because when you do such transactions in HCM Cloud, like when you hire an employee or employee applies for a leave, it has to go through approvals and you would be writing rules here for them. And you also need to know how to customize the screens, whether it is ADF pages or Redwood pages. How do you customize them? We cover them using a sandbox and Visual Builder Studio. So it's going to be a 10-week course. Monday to Saturday, we do 1 hour training session from 7 to 8. And as part of the course, we would be covering these 7 HCM functional modules and all HCM technical skills. All the sessions will happen over Zoom. We record them and give you lifetime access to them, guys. As you can see, I'm recording this session as well. So just in case you miss any session on any particular day, nothing to worry. You have a recording to go through. And we do give you instance access as well for 3 months from your batch start date so that you can practice and let us know. So the expectation is you attend a session live, or if you miss it, go through the recording, practice it, and let me know if you have any questions in the next day session. But if you're practicing during the day and if you hit a blocker, you can just send me a WhatsApp message on this number. I'll be able to let you know what is the error that you're facing. Okay. And a few of you have already made a fee payment, guys. We did send out an onboarding email to you yesterday. And in that onboarding email, you have Google Drive links to access the material that you're seeing on screen. And there would also be 2 more Google Drive links to access session recordings. And a third link would help you to access the Fusion Cloud instances. So please get into the application today later, or spend 10-15 minutes there and try to make yourself comfortable in the application. And what I do tomorrow is, yes, I understand that most of you are looking at this application for the first time. I'm going to give you, I'm going to cover the navigation in HCM application tomorrow. So each and every bit that you see in the screen here, I'll be giving you a quick walkthrough of the navigation tomorrow, and then we get started with security. Okay, any questions from anyone, guys? Please raise your hand so that I'll call out your name. Yes, Priya, please go on.
Hey, Prasad. Yeah, thanks for the session.
Yeah.
So I have one question is that, like, at the end of the session, we'll be doing kind of a, like,
So at the end
kind
of
of
the
a whole
session,
project or something. I mean, whole course when it will be over. Will there be a kind of a project or something
so what
which will
I
cover both
do is,
functional?
yeah, I got the point. So when we do these module configurations itself, right? So when we do each and every module, each and every session, we will be talking about real-time scenarios only. That's point number 1. Okay. So I don't think that a real-time project is something big that you do at the end of the course, and the entire 2-month period is some basic setup stuff that we see. We don't do it that way. Every module we cover real-time scenarios that you're likely to encounter from the clients. And at the end of the course, what I do is I will be walking you through the config workbooks of our real-time projects that I've done recently. Okay, I'll give you a sample config workbooks of different modules. And by the time we go through these config workbooks, we would have completed all the modules. You would have practiced it. You would have understood how the modules work. And after that, if you go ahead and open these config workbooks, I mean, I'm going to give you a detailed walkthrough of these config workbooks of real-time projects. You would clearly understand what could have been the requirement from a client because of which configurations have been done this way. Okay. So every session we do real-time scenarios, but this config workbooks are like giving you that a flavor of how you prepare a config workbooks in a real-time projects and how you implement it.
Okay.
Okay.
And the session would be covering any country-specific
Yeah,
localizations
we
or
will be
settings or
for most of the modules there's no legislation specific thing as such. Say for example, in global HR and absences we use US legislation. For payroll we use UK. And for goals, profile, performance, for talent management modules, there is nothing related to legislation as such. And in compensation, we use US. Okay, so we cut across legislation so that it gives you that comfort level.
Okay. But
Okay.
mostly primary focus would be on US,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Pramod.
Hi, Prasad. Do you have separate OTL training?
We don't have anything on OTL yet. Okay, but if you are very much interested in OTL, just give me a call on this number. I'll tell you what you can do.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow, guys. Same time, same Zoom link. And in case you have not enrolled in a course and if you want to continue further, send a WhatsApp message on this number. Team will let you know the process, guys. Thank you.